Saturday, March 25, 2023. Good afternoon. Welcome to Midday Live. My name is Noble Crosby-Annan. Coming up this afternoon, former President and NDC flag bearer aspirant John Dramani Mahama disappointed by actions of some NDC MPs to approve new ministerial nominees. Meanwhile, political science lecturer Professor Ransfeld Jampo advises NDC MPs to stop the bitterness and support the new leadership. Also coming up, we have a special feature on the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program, LEAP. And on the foreign front, Paul Rosbenga, a former hotel manager portrayed as a hero in the Hollywood film Hotel Rwanda, released from prison in Kigali. You're welcome to the program. We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you in the next 60 minutes. But let's start off with what has been in the news since last night. And former President John Dramani Mahama has expressed disappointment in some NDC MPs who voted in favor of approval of President Akufo-Addo's ministerial nominees. In a statement, the former president made mention of the principled position of the NDC not to approve any new ministers until the president is taking steps to significantly reduce the size of his government. The statement said Ghanaians were sorely disappointed yesterday when several members of the minority, for some parochial and personal interests, voted against the principled position adopted by the party. The former president added that those responsible for the betrayal must do some serious soul-searching and learn to place national interest over personal interest. John Dramani Mahama maintained that in this time of crisis, government can still run efficiently with not more than 60 ministers. The former president has meanwhile urged disappointed grassroots members and Ghanaians not to despair. Well, the evening of yesterday in Parliament was a huge one. Let's go back to Komla Kluchi, our parliamentary correspondent, a day after the minority MPs, if you like, some cross carpet to approve President Akufo-Addo's nominees, and speak with Komla Kluchi, who's joining us for some more updates. Komla, thanks for joining us on Midday Live. What has been the reaction from the NDC MPs, particularly after collating and counting yesterday?
Well, I mean, it's been a bit of disappointment from a good number of them who voted against a cause that, you know, they felt that, yes, this was in the interest of the country. A good number of them who, you know, just even before the declaration of the vote, some of them got wind of it, just like we also did get wind of it from our sources right inside the chamber on how it was going. And as shocking, no, let me paint a picture for you. I'm just going to look back at the deputy minority leader. You know, they had a polling agent. The two MPs were his polling agents. That's Ross and Nelson, and also his deputy whip, Ahmed Ibrahim. And so before the declaration by the speaker, they had gotten wind of how the result went. And as shocking as he appeared, you know, which to a large extent the cameras captured him, when he saw the level at which his camp has been infiltrated, he expressed a lot of shock about it. And, you know, to describe it better, what he did when he saw the numbers on the sheet that his polling agent gave to him, what he did was to put his hands on his head like this, and he explained. He was shocked at how it went, even though they knew that, yes, their camp has been infiltrated. The meetings, the pledges that they had early on, did indicate that, yes, of course, there were some people who were compromised, one, either because they had a long-standing friendship with some of the nominees, and also there were some who, there's been allegations that they've been compromised financially. They knew about this. The more reason why a day or 24 hours to the voting, they had gone for that high-level meeting that John Dramani, Mahama, and then the Council of Elders and other bigwigs of the party were there, and a pledge was made from my sources. So they were shocked at it. Now, when those other MPs who voted no against the nominees got to realize, even before the declaration by the speaker, I can tell you on authority that 3 MPs who I'm not going to mention their names, 2 females and then 1 male, they walked out of the chamber and came towards the coffee shop area, and they were crying. You can see tears, genuine tears, for want of a better word. They were shedding tears, feeling very disappointed, some shouting, saying that go onto the platforms of their constituents, and you will see how they are insulting them, making it look as though they were the ones who did something, because as it is, it's quite difficult to tell unless, of course, you proved that yes, you voted no. And we have seen videos and the pictures of some of them who, out of the pledge that they made to their the leadership of the party, that of course they will stick to it and they will vote no against them. They were very shocked at it, and so it was difficult for them to be able to. But I can tell you that if you even go on to some of the social media pages of a few of them, okay, I'm just going to read a few that I have here. Just a short while ago, the deputy whip for the minority, Comfort Doyo Kujo, had tweeted and she put a lot of pictures together, about 930 images, and then 83 videos of members of parliament, that's the women caucus. And in that picture, you can see Honorable Ablajifa Gomashi, and also the Lejokuku MP in the shot there, and a few other MPs in there. Right. And this is the caption that she gave to it: betrayal will never be our portion. Then you go to Francis Xavier Sosu, who also tweeted about 15 hours ago.
Kamala, we'll get into the social media reactions pretty shortly. But we know that the NDC, in a statement, said the delegates should vote out those who defied the party's directive. Is it to say the party is aware of such persons? And tell us details about the new release from the party.
Well, I get the indication that the party is going to crack the whip on those who broke ranks. But as to the modus operandi, we are not aware. But I am told that there's a mechanism in place that tells how the MPs would be identified if they voted yes or no. Well, if it's anything to go by, then the video recordings and the images some of them took, you would see that possibly was the instruction that was given to them, because it was difficult yesterday to showcase how you voted. It was something that they fought back and forth. The MPP, or the majority, knew how they've been able to infiltrate their
into the camp of the NDC.
The strategy. This is a strategy that they employed. So they didn't allow them to have any chance by showcasing how they voted, to which the speaker even said if he sees any or sees any trace of you showcasing your vote, how you did it and all that, he was going to nullify the vote.
Kamala, thank you.
In the confusion that characterized the voting yesterday.
Kamala Kluche is a parliamentary correspondent telling us into details what actually happened today and some reactions from various members of parliament. Well, we're staying on this matter because the member of parliament for Kpokuase South, Kpokuase, has said the approval of all the ministerial nominees was a sabotage against the current minority leadership by supporters of the previous leaders. He believes some NDC MPs are still pained by the way and manner the previous leaders of the minority were removed. He spoke earlier on key points.
There is a group or a small group who were not happy with events, and that they are out there basically to sabotage the new executives to make sure that they fail. But it looks as if, let's say, supporters or people who were sympathetic to what happened. So it was a clear undermining of Honorable Atufosun's leadership as a punishment to the party, that is the party leadership, Honorable Asedin Nketia, the chairman, and the general secretary mainly. And number two is to do with greed.
Greed?
Yes, on the part of some of our MPs. Some.
NDC MPS?
NDC MPs, yes. There are some people who don't see the collective interests of what we are trying to achieve as a party, and that they are more interested in themselves making money as quick as they can.
So what you're saying is that some NDC MPs were bribed, they took money?
Absolutely, no doubt. Because things added up. Let me tell you why I said no doubt.
I see.
They told us, as our leadership, the number of people on our side that they are 100% sure that they've got them. They told us.
Really?
And was it a coincidence that the numbers happen to be the same? The third one, which is also unique, and that is the difference between the confirmation of the ministers and that of the judges. And you could see that in the numbers. That is to do with friends, people on the NDC side who are friends and family of some of the nominees,
of the judges,
now ministers.
Well, in a related development, the senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Professor Ransford Jampos, advised NDC MPs to stop the bitterness that was occasioned by the removal of the previous minority leaders and support the new leadership.
If what my brother again said is true, that the few who voted in radical departure of their own principled position to reduce the size of government, if they did so as a result of bitterness, given the recent reshuffle in the minority leadership in parliament, if that is what they did, then I would advise them that it is politically smart on their part for them to cut such bitterness and to offer sincere support to the new leadership, because they will need the support of this new leadership in their future and bigger political future, in their future and bigger political plan. Okay, so those who are being led or influenced by bitterness to attempt to sabotage the current minority leadership must know that they would need the same minority leadership, their support, in their quest to climb higher the ladder of political progression tomorrow.
Well, the fallouts keep happening. Let's speak with Ibrahim Mohamed, who is MP for Tamale Central, for also some perspectives on what really happened in Parliament. Mr. Mutala, thank you for joining us on the program. Some have said that the cross carpet or the cross camps is as a result of sabotage. Some say it is as a result of greediness. Are you not surprised by the actions of some of your NDC MP colleagues and the decisions they made yesterday?
Well, first and foremost, I think that if there was anybody who was going to vote against the decision of the party, so to speak, as is being said, to embarrass the new leadership because of the changes that the party effected within the leadership of the minority in parliament, it would have been me. Because I was vociferous in my opposition against the changes. But I voted no in all the people who were, all the appointees. Unfortunately, when I was going to vote, I took a video, and that video, I never shared it. I just want to make this point very clear. I took that video as to how I voted. And the reason is that, there is a particular lane in Parliament. If you ask our colleagues in MPP, and they claim that that is a radical lane, if you come to that lane, I sit first, Honorable Nugbe is second, you have Honorable Yusuf Bole MP third, you have Honorable Edward Bauer fourth, you have on that lane, you have Dafiamo on that lane, you have Bianjila on that lane. It's just a lane. So we took a decision that, look, me, when I vote, I'm going to take a picture, I'm going to take a video. So Honorable Edward Bauer voted before me. And said when he came, he showed me how he voted, and we all know the picture. But
so Honorable Butala, if you hold on a minute for me, we understand this was supposed to be a secret ballot, and there was no need to take a video representation or video evidence.
Yeah, I'm saying that people did secret ballot, but I'm just telling you that a decision that, okay, after I did the secret ballot, I took a video of how I voted, and it was not meant to be circulated.
But it still defies the objective of having a secret ballot.
I'm saying that it was as if I take a video and I kept it. It's still a secret ballot. I took a video and then I took a video of my voting. Assuming it was never.
So then the argument will be.
Can I finish?
Right.
Can I finish? I took that video. That video was never to be circulated. Now, I had a conversation with a very respectful colleague of mine. And then in the conversation, he was asking me about a particular person, and I said, I don't know how that person voted. But as far as I'm concerned, I voted in accordance with the party's directives. So I forwarded the video to him. Unfortunately, he liked that video, and I called him and I expressed my resentment about what I forwarded to him, which was just for his consumption. But I'm just saying that if you look at the voting that happened, and I did so as a principal position, anytime the party gives directives, I am bound by morality and duty to go in accordance with the decision taken by the party. Those of us who spoke against the changes in the leadership, we maintain that it was never against our colleagues who were elevated. We maintain repeatedly that we had problems with the processes in those changes. And that position is accepted in a democracy. Subsequently, these issues were resolved. We have an outstanding working relationship with the national chairman, the national secretary, have outstanding working relationship with the new leadership. So if it is about voting to against, it has nothing to do with that. In any case,
right.
If you look at the way the voting is done, I mean, they didn't get the same number. I cannot tell the reasons what motivated others to vote in the manner that they voted. There were some who didn't take videos or pictures, but who also voted in respecting the ministers.
So, Honorable, is there any mechanism, if you like, that will let you, I mean, your side of the house, get to know those who cross carpet? Any mechanism like that?
No, it's embarrassing, it's disappointing that some of our colleagues did what they did. I cannot be playing innocent, even though my video is very clear. But then, we must all collectively take that responsibility. What happened? Because we actually let down the teeming masses of our party. There are people who have sacrificed everything for this party. We let those people down, unfortunately. So we must all take the responsibility. One thing I can say for a fact, that look, I have had several conversations and I have been in touch with the leaders who were there. Okay. At no point in time did any of them tell us, you people should go and vote against the new leadership. What they told us was to do everything possible to support this leadership. And assuming, this video was not taken, and this unfortunately, people would have, because of my position against the new leadership, against the changes that the processes to the changes that were set. Right. If you ask Agoja, Honorable Agoja, the chief whip, before the voting, I came to him and I told him,
right, Honorable, thank you.
I would insist you ask everybody to take a video of his voting.
Right.
I told him.
All right.
But his
Honorable
view was
Mutala,
that-
I'd like to thank you for your time. We'll get more time and then speak with you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we'll allow for on Midday Live. This is a subject we're staying with. But we know that diverse views have greeted the parliamentary approval of the 6 ministers nominated by the president. This is how a section of the public in the Ashanti region reacted when William Evans Inkum engaged with them.
After weeks of cliffhanger, a simple majority vote has seen all ministerial nominees by the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, being approved by Parliament. What they are waiting for is a swearing in, and they begin their work. Something that has divided views in the Ashanti region.
Well, I believe it's some kind of inside thing. I think they just want to take a spite on what Esiedun Ketia did, because they wasn't happy about his changes.
Unfortunately, I might say that I was disappointed as a member of the party. And this morning, His Excellency Dramani Mahama has added his voice to the disappointment that some persons chose their parochial interest and their selfish interest over the party's interest. And of course, even everywhere across the world, every parliamentary system practices a whip system. And so, if the party has given a directive that this is what we are supposed to do, and then you decide to choose your own interest, probably because you have taken something from someone or because you are peeved because certain changes has occurred in Parliament, I think it's not the best. Around May 13th, we'll have our primaries, and then when we are done, there will be changes, of course. At the end of the day, the grassroots, some of us, those of us who want the NDC to come back to power, who want the NDC to rescue power from the MPP, will go and vote and make sure that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the NDC, wins election 2024.
Let me first of all congratulate them for doing that. I think the president needs the ministers to support him. That is why he brought them before Parliament. And what I was thinking is that if we were not going to approve of them for no reason, then I think you don't have any reason to say that you won't accept it. You vetted them. You shouldn't have vetted them in the first place. So when you go out to vet them and come back to say that we will not accept them because our party leadership says we don't have to want to approve of them, I think it was very bad.
Anyway, it was nice for them to accept, because as a nation we need to move forward. We can't just delay this very thing for the... I don't know how much they want to delay it, but if possible they are able to just come into agreement and then allow these people to just kick on start and then do their job. It's very nice. But
well, the minority leader in Parliament has reacted to the outcome of the voting procedure yesterday in Parliament. In a statement shared on his Facebook page, and I'll read to you some portions of the statement. It says, "To say I am profoundly disappointed with the outcome of yesterday's proceedings is an understatement. While it is true that we did not achieve the desired reduction in the number of ministers under this government, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the over 100 NDC MPs who worked tirelessly to represent the will of the majority of the Ghanaian people." He continues to say that these MPs have demonstrated their unwavering commitment to the betterment of our society. Their tireless efforts to push for a reduction in the number of ministers are a testament to their dedication to our shared cause. While the outcome may not have been what we had hoped for, I believe we can still work together to achieve our goals. I remain hopeful that by continuing to engage in constructive dialogue and collaboration, we can find a way forward that benefits all Ghanaians. So these are excerpts of the statement from the minority leader in Parliament, the Honourable Kaisel Atoforsen, reacting to the outcome of the voting process in Parliament. For details of the statement, log into our website, 3news.com. You read all the statements, and you could also share with us your reactions to that on any of our social media platforms. Now let's leave politics and talk some other subject. It was an intervention to ensure people below the poverty line receive cash support. But over the years, beneficiaries of government's Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program, the LEAP program, they say the between 64 and 100 cedi bi-monthly cash grant is inadequate. Kumuladum traveled to Katapor in the Ga West municipality to meet some of the beneficiaries.
When 42-year-old Grace Akakpo sustained a foot injury more than 20 years ago, she did not know it was going to render her permanently incapacitated. She has now been consigned to a wheelchair operating a tabletop store at Katapo in the Ganwest municipality of the Greater Accra region. In the last 4 years, she has been benefiting from government's Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program, LEAP.
I receive 103 cedis. I use some for feeding and I invest some into my tabletop business. We would appreciate an increase.
There have been times the monies will just not come. 80-year-old Abla Dogbe also lives alone here in Katapo.
I receive 74 cedis. It is inadequate to cater for my feeding, but we appreciate it.
Like Grace Akakbo, Abla Dogbe does not feel entitled to the cash grants, but feels an increase in the face of a rising cost of living is imperative. Government in 2008 started a trial phase of the LEAP program to provide cash and health insurance to extremely poor households, drawing inspiration from similar interventions in Tanzania, which began their cash transfer program in 2000, paid bi-monthly for ultra-poor people in education and health. And in South Africa, a child support grant program started in 1998 targeted poor children. The children's support grants covered at least 11 million children by 2015. Ghana currently has a coverage of over 345,000 households. Through the instrumentality of Assembly member for the Dedema electoral area in Katapo, many households in 5 communities have been covered.
I went to the assembly and I realized that most communities are enjoying LEAP, but my communities, 5 communities, Katapo, Dedema, Bodumase, Donkoma and Ochirkomfo, none is benefiting. So I went to social welfare to make an inquiry. Lo and behold, they came and registered in my community. So eventually I became the focal person.
UNICEF Ghana Social Protection Budget Brief 2021 revealed that since November 2019, multiple LEAP payments were delayed by more than 8 weeks. Ministry of Finance also delayed release of the allocated monies, and private financial institutions in charge of disbursements sometimes faced network connectivity challenges.
Every 2 months they're supposed to come, but there are times that they delay. At times 6 months, at times 4 months. If there's network, they take it, but people go and come back because of network problem. I have 2 of them who were captured. By any time they go to access, nothing is loaded.
A 2022 Civil Society Organization's Social Protection Mirror report found, among others, non-increment in cash grants and in some cases politicization have dogged the LEAP program. Kosin Akambasiam is head of communications at LEAP Secretariat.
There is currently a lot of discussion, and the discussion is informed by studies done by academics, civil society organizations about the fact that the value of the grant has depreciated. And typically, international best practices require that the grant should constitute 20% of the household consumption so that it can be impactful. But we are currently doing below that. That tells you that obviously it is not doing enough. We have been able to push that to government, and if you read the 2023 budget statement, there is commitment from government to double the grant amount per household currently.
He speaks about dealing with delayed disbursements.
In case the delay is moving towards another cycle, we just add them together and we call it double payment, and we make sure that we pay. For the whole of last year, we have made sure every arrears has been cleared. Though the economy is in crisis, government has recognized the fact that the poor and the vulnerable deserve to be supported, and making sure that at least what is due them is given to them. Because if they don't get under these circumstances, their situation could be worse, or they will slide further into deprivation.
Beyond these, advocates believe a social protection law is imperative. A draft bill 2020 is yet to receive parliamentary approval. The bill is expected to address politicization, weak legal framework and oversight gaps. Clause 38 of a social protection bill also establishes a fund expected to consolidate revenue streams, even though civil society and interest groups continue to make inputs for sustainable financing.
Well, civil society groups have for long advocated an increase in the investment for social protection allocations. Let's speak with Dr. Esther Boaji, who's joining us. She's a policy analyst, a social protection advocate, and a researcher for some more perspectives into the report that we just played. Doc, grateful for your time with us on the program. For a matter of fact, social protection bill, where are we on that journey? We know that CSOs have in fact made proposals for review of the draft 2020 bill, but is there any hope that the bill would go through anytime soon?
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for the opportunity. At present, the bill is under the sponsorship of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. We're expecting that the ministry will engage the Attorney General on it, have a final draft which will be sent to Cabinet for approval, and then onward transmission to Parliament. We are yet to receive signals from the ministry as to where it's at right now, which institution that has it, or where revisions or conclusions have reached. But we are hoping, and we're praying, and we're encouraging the ministry to expedite action on it. If it does move from the ministry to the Attorney General's and it gets to Cabinet, then we can target our advocacy in those directions. In anticipation of this, we also need to encourage Parliament to be aware of the bill and what is in it, so that informally, at least, the ground can be prepared for its reception in that August House.
That's it. There have also been challenges plaguing the LEAP program, as captured in the report we played. We're talking about, the inadequate levels of the grants that they receive. How should we be able to address that problem particularly, and the others that bedevil the program?
As indicated in the report, there have been a number of problems with the LEAP facility. But like one of your respondents indicated, a lot of the beneficiaries are, grateful to receive it. I mean, however meager it is, at least it's something that comes along. And like your reporter indicated, a lot of them don't see it as their right to have such a facility. But it is their right, which is something that civil society urgently wants to address. The fact that social protection is a human right. Like was indicated in the report, only about 345,000 households are receiving the facility. But rightly speaking, all people in extreme poverty should be eligible for this facility, which means that we really need to double the delivery or double the availability or coverage of people benefiting from this facility. The amounts are small. I mean, looking at the current context and economic standards of living, the transfers are irregular, as the report indicated. I mean, sometimes because of macroeconomic difficulties, the inflows are delayed. But there are also other challenges which have been indicated, such as network issues, engagement with the financial bodies that deliver it, and so on. However, it's important that we continue. We work hard at it. The person from the ministry indicated that the 2023 budget conveyed a commitment to doubling it. This should be welcomed and indeed vigorously championed. Great. Because I do know that with the macroeconomic situation, we still have to prioritize how we use our money. And investment in the poor is extremely critical for our national level development. Because some of households, investment in them through LEAP enhances their productive capacity.
Dr. Boaji, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much for your time with us on the program. Dr. Esther Boaji is a policy analyst and a social protection advocate and a researcher. You watch it midday live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and we're back with more stories after the break. Stay with us.
It's good to try something new every day. It's good when you get the rest you need because your family has got you. Frital, you deserve a life of goodness. This advert is FDA.
The COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective. I encourage all pregnant women to go in for the vaccine. And to add to this, I have a beautiful bouncing baby girl who is a year old now.
Remember, we are not safe until all eligible persons are vaccinated. Protect yourself, your family, and your community. Get vaccinated now.
We are on a mission promoting access to quality health and education through the power of our media space. Since 2014, we have made great impact. TV3 Mission now drives Ghana's quest to break barriers and provide access to inclusive and quality girls' education, together with women's maternal health services. Our mission to address the needs of the socially excluded has won the admiration of many. Indeed, TV3 Mission gets you the results. Mission is live on TV3 News 360 every Saturday and Sunday. Supported by Star Ghana Foundation, with thanks to Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Ghana's Strongest is powered by
Deluxe acrylic paint.
It's the road to VGMA 24. All the buzz, all the juice, the info about the biggest night of music in Ghana, the 24th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, right here on TV3. This and every Saturday from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Listen, brace yourself, leg up.
You're welcome back to the broadcast. Let's bring you more stories. Now, it used to be £4, 4 shillings, a bottle of schnapp, and a young man could take for himself a wife. But in modern times, you can find anything on the marriage list, including expensive gadgets, property, and huge sums of money. In our Ghana Man series, Grace Hamwajiman has been finding out the evolution of the marriage list and its possible impact on the marriage longevity.
Marriage is designed for the mature and those who are ready to shoulder the responsibilities involved. In most parts of the country, once a man gets what is called the engagement list, then he has shown the sign that he's truly committed to his intention. A modern day list consists of items including wax prints, Bible, ring, cooking utensils, drinks, money, and sometimes appliances and other gadgets. Mr. Nelson Ofuri has been married for 48 years and tells me he gave close to nothing for his wife.
Na krubia wana mamra yade oba ho ade. Bibie ni hopiu. Ye mamre no ni eji pon 9 and it's 9. ACDs 40%.
I gave just a bottle of schnapp, and the money I could afford was £4. So I added that and married my wife.
Snap 2 bottles.
He recently led his nephew to take a wife. He confirms the items on the list have drastically changed.
There's no doubt the items for marriage has changed, but I always advise young people to do what is in their means.
His wife, Auntie Asantwa, advocates moderation when the list is being prepared. What we see these days is very costly. We have 4 daughters, and we gave all of them out in marriage without giving a list. For many young people who are preparing for marriage, this is certainly a subject of concern.
Young men nowadays are trying so hard to get something to set up a family, and with these price listings and these amounts that they are collecting, even sometimes when you look at the occasion itself, just for the engagement, you think about it and you see the money that is being pumped inside could actually be used for a lot of things we would even benefit that kind of family.
Everyone wants a beautiful occasion. If the money is there, why not? If it is not too, it's fine. At the end of the day, love wins. By a say kakra, sikansu kakra.
Mr. Fori fears too much demand from the bride's family sometimes can be an impediment toward the longevity of the marriage.
And I'm sad listing semi sunti. A mabebre our academy. If you say Sadina original or Dobano, Nebuchadnezzar say, or Bono investi.
Demanding too much from the family can be an impediment to the marriage. Families should not see the marriage as an avenue to make money.
Well, one man's meat, they say, is another man's poison. And for Araba, an event planner and deco expert, this new normal is a good employment avenue.
Nowadays, often people are getting married like almost every week, so you get it from each and every side. Yes, people do book.
She's mostly inundated with engagement item wrapping orders.
It ranges from 800 to 1,005, but then it goes extra when person wants it extremely beautiful, like a luxury or yes.
After you have mobilized the funds to get all the items on the list, its acceptance is dependent on the answer to this question.
Sit down, my darling.
The conversation around the items on the marriage list is one that is not ending anytime soon. But the caution is cut your coats according to your cloth. After all, it is the union that matters the most. Grace Hamwajiman, TV3 News, Accra.
Away from that story, Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture in charge of crops, Yao Frimpongwadu, says Ghana's effort to increase food security is being hampered by lack of access to quality agro inputs, including fertilizer and seed. He made the disclosure at the Alliance for a Green Revolution Africa Learning event in Accra. We'll bring you that story later in the subsequent bulletins. But away from that, the European Union has awarded grants of over 397,000 cedis to 6 entrepreneurs under the Green Innovation Challenge for 2021 and 2022. Program Manager of the European Union Green Project, Marta Brigon, said government must reduce the negative impact on the environment. This is Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and I'll bring you more stories, but after the break, stay with us.
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
when my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, you know, just like Pep Guardiola style.
When someone beats the buzzer with a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my waist to a knockout like Africa's greatest boxer, Azuma Nelson.
Running so fast I can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up, what makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on TFM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The 3 sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
This generation, you can never find true love.
Sir?
If you don't get money, you don't go get love.
Love is spiritual.
God so loves the world that he gave.
Jesus Christ came to lay his life.
How much be your salary? How much be your salary? Your girlfriend in my gallery. She in my gallery. Stubborn academy. Stubborn academy.
Baby girl, I'm here for you.
She's good.
From the Lord is good to she is good.
And then I also like the fact that she's jealous. She be full package. As in she be correct.
Allah.
She set.
Allah.
She be take away.
It's okay.
Date Rush shows every Sunday at 8 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it. Date Rush is sponsored by
Rush Energy Drink,
Airtel Tigo, Sense Body Spray,
Duffy's Health and Beauty, Pepsodent Herbal,
Geisha,
Kpokuase Bitters,
Remy Spices, Give Us Herbal Mixture, Carnival Strawberry,
Forever Clear, Acne Control Range and Multi-Fruit Set,
Deluxy Acrylic Paint,
Star,
Dano Milk,
Yosin Duray.
Try new things leads to learning. It makes us curious, independent, well-rounded individuals ready to experience everything life has to offer.
Aside rapping, I know a bit of marketing strategy.
Also, I'm a nurse.
But the talent I wish I had was for the visual arts.
You're so beautiful. This week on Talented Kids, we challenge the contestants to tap into their second talent, a talent that is different from what they have been displaying so far on the show.
You have a beautiful tone. All you need is a coach.
To avoid eviction, please dial star 713 star 13 hash or download the TV3 reality app to vote. Talented Kids, free to play.
Let's go! Can you hear this song? If you hear this song, you get jacket song.
Talented Kids shows on TV3 every Sunday at 4 p.m.
Powered by Indomie. Sponsored by Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Cowbell, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Insecticide Spray, Enapa Mackerel, Kiki Juice Drink, Flora Tissues, Top Choco, Coco Plus,
Deluxy
Hello, good afternoon. Let's do sports news now here on Midday Live on TV3. My name is Yao Ofusula. Now, the Black Meteors strengthened their position for an under-23 AFCON place after drawing 1-1 in Algeria on Friday evening. Abdul Fattah Shahaku scored a screamer from halfway line for Ghana after Ibrahim Danlad saved a penalty on the other end. But the Algerians got another penalty late on and made no mistake from the spot. The Meteors are back in Ghana and are preparing to host the Algerians in the second leg on Tuesday.
Now, still on some African news, and in their bid to host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations tournament, Morocco made one of their stadiums available for a game between Ethiopia and Guinea for the AFCON 2023 qualifiers. My colleague Ori Kwampofo was at the game and has this report.
We're here at the Stade Mohammed V Stadium in Morocco, which has hosted the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier between Ethiopia and Guinea. Now the big story here is that Morocco continue to extend a helping hand to the rest of Africa as they pursue and strengthen their bid for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. They're going to be hosting 5 African qualifiers in total, 6 countries involved. Earlier, there was a match between Sierra Leone and Sao Tome with a reverse fixture set to take place here. Guinea-Ethiopia just ended here with Guinea winning by 2-0. The reverse fixture also takes place here in Morocco 3 days later. Then there would also be the game between Gambia and Mali in terms of the matches that would be played here in Morocco. Morocco themselves have the luxury of all these stadiums to be able to give to other African countries to play their qualifiers. Their proposal to host the Continental Showpiece includes 6 stadiums that have all been approved by the Confederations of African Football: Casablanca's Mohammed V Complex, Rabat's Moulay Abdallah Complex, Grand Stade de Marrakech, Agadir Stade Adra, Grand Stade de Tanger, and then Grand Stade de Fès. Morocco do have a solid track record when it comes to hosting international events recently. In 2017, they hosted the French Super Cup. And then in 2018, they went on to host the Spanish Super Cup. Last November, Botswana announced their support for Morocco's bid to host the 2025 AFCON. A couple of months ago, Liberia President George Weah also expressed his country's full support for Morocco's AFCON's bid. The winner of the 2025 hosting bid is yet to be announced, but Morocco are definitely in a strong position given what they've done for other African countries recently. Ray Kwampofo reporting from Mohammed Stade V Stadium here in Morocco.
That's my colleague Ray Kwampofo there. Now to the fixtures for the Ghana Premier League this weekend, and Kpokuase Royals delivered an emphatic blow to King Faisal yesterday as they beat them by 4-2 in the Ghana Premier League. But Karela United will take on Accra Hearts of Oak at 3 p.m. today. Accra Lions will also be in Accra. They face Bechem United also at 3 p.m. Great Olympics will take on Legon Cities at the Accra Sports Stadium also at 3 p.m. Brekum Chelsea will face Tamale City. Dreams will face in Swatreman in Dewu. And then BBN Gold Stars will also face Samatex. Adriana FC will also be at their stadium in Domahinkro, where they would welcome Real Tamale United. And then Asante Kotoko at 6 p.m. they face Mediam IC. Well, that's all the sports news this afternoon here on Midday Live on TV3. My name is Yao Ofusula. International News and Entertainment will follow after the break.
In entertainment news, Guinean dancehall star Shatta Wale has gifted Kumasi-based comic actor and YouTuber and influencer Dr. Laki a new car. The gesture is in appreciation for Dr. Laki's support for his works and also for using his influence to promote the ride-hailing platform Shagzi.
Well-loved actor and YouTuber Dr. Laki pulled up on Friday afternoon in the company of some famous Kumawood actors, directors and skit producers to receive his gift from Shatta Wale, a new Hyundai Elantra. Dr. Laki was grateful to Shatta Wale for the kind gesture. Entertainment personality Sammy Flex and entrepreneur and close ally of Shatta movement, Prince Henry Rich Game, did the presentation on behalf of the acclaimed musician.
For the next 1 year, anytime Dr. Laki moves this car, anytime he goes around with this car and anything happens to the car, he wants to take care of the maintenance. It is just to make sure the car is on the road.
Renowned Kumaud actor Wayosi is wowed by the act of generosity.
Well, music promoter Kpokuase has some word of advice for young artists in the country.
A group like R2Bs,
yeah.
R2Bs, they are always hanging around with Wizkid.
Yeah.
Everywhere you say Wizkid, these guys are with him. Then I said, so what is happening? If you are with Wizkid, and Wizkid is playing all the shows, he's playing all over the shows in America, he's playing and he's making all the big guys. What is stopping you guys from actually sitting down with
really
these girls, tapping into his marketing skills and everything, instead of maybe you boys drinking Hennessy and drinking this and everything? I think so. When they get the fame, we are expecting them that they should leverage on the fame, be able to do more plugins so that they can have more platforms created by themselves. Not just hanging around these celebrities. We are hanging out with Wizkid, and then Wizkid comes to private jet and he goes the next day.
Now to some international news. A former hotel manager portrayed as a hero in the Hollywood film Hotel Rwanda has been released from prison in Kigali. 2 years ago, he was sentenced to 25 years for terrorism by a Rwandan court in what supporters called a sham trial. A government spokesperson said his sentence had been commuted by presidential order. Now, he's 68 years old and he's credited with saying some 1,200 people during the 1994 genocide. He saved them. Now, U.S. President Joe Biden called the news of his release a happy outcome. It has taken years of diplomatic pressure and talks brokered by Qatar for him to be released. Much of that pressure came from the United States, where he had lived since 2009. Now, the Biden administration has said he was wrongfully detained. His family say the Rwandan government lured him from Texas, where he had permanent residency, back to Rwanda in 2020. Well, that's our package this afternoon. My name is Noble Crosby, and there's always more news on our website, 3news.com. On behalf of the entire production team, thank you so much for watching the bulletin. Stay with us here on TV3. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.